thinking maybe Vietnam, Thailand, or possibly Bali. Tropical plants, beautiful scenery, a great place to escape to and recharge. Well, guess what? You don't have to get on a plane and go overseas to enjoy an experience like this, because there's a place in Victoria that has it all. Yes, believe it or not, I'm in Yarra Junction, just east of Melbourne, and I've come to explore this incredible water wonderland. Blue Lotus Water Gardens, 14 acres, 2 enormous lakes, dozens of ponds, and literally thousands of magnificent water lilies, and of course, lotus. Water lilies and lotus are both bog plants or water plants, but they actually grow quite differently. The water lily, it sits right at water level. You know, frogs sit on them, and then the flower comes up and it's quite exquisite. And the flower colours, literally the full range of the rainbow. The lotus, on the other hand, its leaves and flowers sit well above, proud of the water, quite tall and elegant. And the colours, well, they're quite limited. You've got white, there's a limey green white, and then there are pinks. And the owner and creator of this spectacular garden is Jeff Cochran.
This was a vegetable farm for, 35 years probably.
Wow.
The main lake here was our irrigation lake, but we planted some lotus and water lilies just to make the lake look better.
Yeah.
Didn't know much about them.
Right.
Especially the lotus.
Yes.
I thought lotus are a tropical plant.
Yeah,
they won't
absolutely,
grow here.
yeah.
Well, they just took off.
Yes, that's right. You can grow lotus and water lilies in the cool climates of Australia, and you don't have to have your own lake either. A bit later in the show, I'll walk you through how to grow these beautiful plants at your house. You know, all parts of the lotus are really fascinating. Have a look at this one here. When the flower matures, it wants to attract this bee right into the flower, so the centre turns a sort of luminous yellow as an attraction, and in come the bees to help pollinate the flower. Now, after the flower finishes, there's this incredible fruit pod develops on a long stem. Now, you see them in all the Buddhist temples right throughout Asia, but of course in Australia, the florists just love them for flower decoration. In gardening, there's always the rare and the unattainable and the ones you just must have. And this is such a plant, the golden lotus. Now, seeds of this particular plant came from China over 20 years ago. That one of the flowers had mutated and changed a little, and it had 88 petals. 8 is a really important number in China. 88, you've hit the jackpot. How incredible. Now, this is not only the largest growing water lily in Australia, it's the largest growing water lily in the world. It's called Victoria amazonica, named after Queen Victoria and, of course, the Amazon in South America. The amazing thing is, the pad itself, the leaf pad, weighs over 60 kilos, and they can grow to over 1.7 metres across. But of course, it's all to do with design, because even with that weight, it floats, and it is so strong, it can hold the weight of a little baby sitting on there. And there's a flower that's coming out. Now, I know it's just young because it starts out white. As it ages, it turns to pink. It's one hell of a water lily, and that's one amazing lily pad. If this landscape looks a little bit familiar, it's because all of the bridges here have been based on Monet's beautiful garden in Giverny in France and the water lily pond. He certainly had a passion for water lilies, that's for sure. Well, I can see how this plant got its common name. Those leaves really give you a bite. Lotus aren't only beautiful to look at, they're fantastic to eat. Maybe not the flower, but certainly the root. In all that mud, when you clean it up and slice it up and fry it, lotus root chips. They taste like potato chips. Beautiful. And later, I'll show you how to grow these amazing plants in your garden. Well, this is what you'll need. I'm going to start with a nice, broad, shallow bowl. pop in some soil first so that the plants have something to grow into. The soil we're using is not potting mix, by the way. It's too light and it floats. You need a good, solid garden mix. And what we're creating really is a little mini water landscape. So at the back, some nice tall papyrus, the original Egyptian paper plant from thousands of years ago. Then adjacent to that, a little dwarf papyrus. In the middle, the hero is the beautiful water lily. And a couple of small ones around the other side. And then backfill with lots of soil. Now just sprinkle in some slow release fertilizer, just a bit of a sprinkle around. Any one of those coated fertilizers will do. Now once that's there, to keep all this in place, a nice layer of pea gravel. Then very slowly add the water. You don't want to disturb all the good work that you've done. So if you've always admired water lilies and lotus but thought they were in the too hard basket, remember, these plants are much hardier than what you might have thought. And if you select the right species and varieties of water lily and lotus, you can have a beautiful water feature like this just about anywhere in Australia.